Hey guys, how you doing? It's Will Caban. I'm here with Megan Probst and Bethany Martinez. Today we wanted to take some time and thank our veterans and our veterans family members for the sacrifice that you guys make, the continuous sacrifices that you make for our country, and we want to just take a moment and thank you and reward you for that.
Okay, before we go deeper into what we're about to say, I want to share a fun fact with you guys. Does anybody know why Veterans Day is on November 11th?
I have no idea.
I didn't either. Well, basically, World War I ended on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, and that's why Veterans Day is on November 11th. I thought that was very interesting.
It is really interesting.
And here in South Florida, we actually have over 1 million veterans, and Bethany and I service the homeowner community. So we wanted to take the military relocation designation to help our veterans better navigate the home buying process. In fact, this year I closed my first 2 VA transactions with the help of Will here.
That's really awesome.
And I realized there were so many misconceptions out there.
Yeah, if I would have known then what I know now, that transaction would have went way smoother. It was actually with a VA buyer. And in this class that we took, we learned about 5 really important myths that we should not believe when dealing with VA loans. One being that a buyer is at high risk to a seller. So can you guys elaborate on that? Because that was really interesting. And that's why my transaction didn't go through and why my seller didn't want to accept a VA buyer.
So with regard to that first myth, sellers have to understand that VA buyers are actually some of the most well-qualified buyers across the gamut.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we talk about credit, they have the highest average credit score. We talk about income, they have the highest average income. When we talk about assets, they have the highest average assets. And the last component, which is extremely important, is they usually have a higher average education, which is extremely important because the only way to really rank up in the military is to actually go through your education designation. So it's important to know that from a seller's perspective, that myth is completely debunked.
Absolutely. So going into the second myth, saying that appraisals take longer and deals take longer when they're a VA buyer or a VA loan. Is that really true?
So to touch on that aspect of the appraisal taking forever, I actually want to throw it to you because we had an experience together with our VA loan, and I just want to ask how that experience was.
Yeah, I mean, it really surprised me. From start to finish, it was a little over 30 days. The appraiser came out within hours of getting the call. I mean, he was on top of it. Within 5 days, we had a turnaround time. And they actually were very concerned and about taking care of the value of the home, which was really nice.
Absolutely.
More so caring than I've felt with other appraisers.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Can you explain, isn't there a standard with a VA loan that now they have 5 days to actually come out and handle it, whereas another FHA or conventional can take up to 2 weeks?
Absolutely. So we're actually one of 4 states, Puerto Rico being one of them. So really 3 states, Alabama and Mississippi are the only other states that actually have in the VA guidelines, in the VA website, it's mandated that we're supposed to have the appraisal back in 5 days.
Which is awesome.
It is awesome. Now, does it always happen? I would say 9 out of 10 times we get it back within 5 days. That one time, we can actually call the regional loan center and we can, what I call, raise hell with the appraisal management company and everybody else, and they will fight for the appraiser. They will fight to get the appraisal. So it is amazing. It really is amazing.
And what happened? Can you talk a little bit more about what happens if you don't agree with the appraisal and there's maybe an error?
Yeah, because there's actually 2 very important things there.
Very, very important things. So when it comes to the appraised value, right? We kind of bite our nails. What's the appraised value going to come in at? With the VA loans are the only loan that actually give you fair warning of any shortfall or any potential shortfall that's going to happen. So what ends up happening is there's 2 mechanisms that are in place for us to kind of deter that if that happens. So first is something called Tidewater Initiative, and the Tidewater Initiative is really just the appraiser giving fair warning to whoever the contact is, usually the underwriter, and the underwriter then contacts us as the loan officers and also you as the buyer's agents and listing agents. And they have 48 hours to provide CMAs, your comparables, to support that purchase price.
I didn't know that.
Let me ask you a question.
What other loan gives you that?
That's what I'm saying. Does FHA and conventional do that?
No.
Absolutely not. By the time you get the appraisal back. It's either make it or break it.
That's it.
And you got to negotiate it with the seller and
or
buyer.
give up commission
Yeah.
at some point.
Exactly.
So that right there is what I needed in my last transaction that I had no idea about.
Yep.
And shame on me, but now I know, and I'll never make that mistake again.
But there's a lot of people that don't know about it. There's a lot of people that don't know, unfortunately. And let's say that the
Veterans
Tidewater,
too.
yeah, veterans especially.
Which is also why we're doing this, is it's not just the real estate community, but also our veterans. They should be
Yeah.
equipped and know what their benefits
A
are.
lot of veterans don't even know their benefits, what they are, that they even have them. So us knowing this and taking this course, we can double our income by actually showing these veterans, what their benefits are.
Absolutely. Statistically, less than 20%, and I'm being very conservative with that number, less than 20% of veterans actually use their VA loan.
That's so small.
20%?
Less than 20%.
That's
I
nothing.
think the actual percentage is somewhere like 12%.
And us
Actually,
being
Those benefits
the
are
us being the city or state that has the most veterans, I mean, that's money on the table, that's
Absolutely.
business, that's people we could be helping.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the second way. Let's say that the Tidewater Initiative, we enact it,
Okay.
appraised value still comes in low. What's our options at that point? Well, there's a second option called reconsideration of value, right? We are also known as RCV because we all know that VA is all full of acronyms.
Yeah.
So the RCV is really about trying to get a fair value on the appraisal. So you have a second option that you can actually flex in the event that an appraised value comes in low after the Tidewater Initiative.
Yeah.
So
So you have two ways
it's amazing.
to save a deal
Exactly.
in an appraisal period.
Exactly.
And let's
That's
remember,
awesome.
sometimes
So
our
good.
veterans are putting down a 0 or a small percentage. So
Exactly.
In talking
If
about the
needed.
0%, that's actually one of the final myths that we hear about all the time. That because the VA is coming in with a 0% deposit, that they have no skin in the game, right? That's what Will would say.
I hear this all the time. I'm very passionate about this. There's videos of me talking about that phrase right there because I always get
Yeah.
that phrase.
Yeah.
And here's the simple answer that I always give to anyone who says this. We can't walk in and get VA loans, right?
No.
You have to risk
Not at
your
all.
life. You have to serve the country. You have to be a reservist. You have to actually serve. You have to be on deployment. You have to actually put your life on the line and not know if you're going to be able to come back to your family, come back
Yeah.
to your kids. And that right there, that's the skin in the game. So when somebody, and I get goosebumps when I talk about it, but when somebody says there's no skin in the game because there's 0% down, what I want to reinforce is the fact that they put their life on the line in order to be able to have one of
This is-
many benefits, the most important in my opinion being the VA loan.
Yep.
And for 12% of people to actually not use that benefit for various different reasons, in my opinion, is unacceptable. And for the whole no skin in the game, I hope that this gives you a little bit of
It does.
recollection and gives you a little bit of vision of what skin in the game they actually have.
Yeah, that's all. It's so good. I have such a respect for veterans now after taking this course. I appreciate them, and I have a new view on VA loans altogether. And I really hope I get another chance to work with a veteran and to be able to educate them on everything that I've learned. All right, let's share some of our takeaways from the class because we talked about the myths, but we didn't talk about the other things that we learned. One of my takeaways was all the information that we got, the links, the websites of this information to go back and reference to. I thought that was amazing. What about you, Megan?
Yeah, Grant, Simon, thank you so much. You were a great instructor. My second VA transaction that I had this year, I always thought that the loan limit was $453,100. So when my clients asked me, and we found out through the process that there is no limit.
No,
I mean, they
there
ended up
is no
buying a
limit.
home that was in the 500,000 range.
That's right.
Yeah.
You
What was the
can-
second one?
And the second takeaway that I had, this was their second VA transaction, so I thought you only could use your benefit once.
Yeah, that's
and
what the myth
a very
is.
common myth out there.
Very-
so
very common
you
myth.
can actually.
It's really based on the eligibility.
It is
So if they have more,
it's based on the
explain.
eligibility, and it's funny because your designation is for relocation, right?
Yeah.
So there's a few different instances when you can actually use your entitlement. There's the instance where you either have a VA loan, you pay the VA loan off either by paying the loan off and keeping the house, or selling the house and having the loan paid off, and then reestablishing those benefits. The second way is if you purchase a property and you have something called second tier entitlement, because you have entitlement left over, you can actually still own a home it has to be at least 100 miles away, and purchase the property with your VA benefit, which is amazing. It's amazing.
Wow.
So you can own
So good.
and have multiple VA benefit and VA loans out there.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So guys, what are some of the common reasons why you hear veterans buying homes?
Well, I mean, isn't it the American dream to buy a home? And these veterans have actually served America, so they deserve it more than anybody.
Absolutely.
I've become very close with the veteran families that I've worked with, and I can tell you that this is definitely, yes, the American dream, but it's our job to get them home.
That's right.
Definitely.
So guys, one of the key takeaways that I get from the MRP designation is the fact that it really ties you heavy into the family, right? The family is the one who really gets affected by the relocation, the move, everything. Can you guys talk a little bit about how you learned and what you learned to kind of best help a family prepare for schools, locations, neighborhoods, etc.?
Well, the course actually educates you on what to look out for. You should be looking out for these schools and the lifestyle that these families want to take on when they move. You have to go and dig a little bit deeper to be able to provide them with everything they need for this relocation.
And with my experience working with my veteran clients, I can tell you I was their eyes, their ears. They have to pick up at a moment's notice. They are packing their homes.
Yeah.
They're moving to another area. I become very invested, and having this designation makes them feel like they're in good hands.
Also, some of these people get sent away before the closing even happens. So the wives and the moms are left with the kids to handle the move all on their own. Our instructor brought that up, and I thought that was a really that hit my heart, because imagine your husband's getting sent away and you have to do this whole move, close on a property all by yourself. That's why us as agents, we're educated to be there for them when their spouses can't.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I find so unique about South Florida and so unique about Miami is that we have so many different people that relocate from different areas of
all
America.
over the world.
And we can cater to almost every type of client.
Yeah,
if a client
absolutely.
moves from a city or is used to a city, we have a city lifestyle that they can kind of inhabit. If they're used to a suburban type of lifestyle, we have a
absolutely.
suburban type
We
of
have
lifestyle that
something
they
for
can
everybody.
inhabit. If they're used to a farm, we have farm life that we
And
can
ranches,
actually, I mean,
yes.
it's like, it's
Yeah.
wild. So I think from that standpoint, we're multifaceted. I think that's where it really, really shines, because it puts the focal point on the family's needs, on the veterans' needs, and it makes them feel as comfortable as they could being a stranger in a new place.
Yeah. So you guys recently had a transaction where a VA buyer bought a condo, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
We
That's
did.
rare, is it not?
It's,
So tell me about it.
So how was the experience?
Yeah, I mean, my veteran client, who I'll tell you, he just posted on Facebook that the word on the streets is that VAs can't get condos approved. And I'll tell
Not
you,
true.
I was getting really frustrated because I always thought single families was the only option out there.
Yep.
And then I remember calling you one day and you said, no, there's actually a website where you can see if there's any condo approved.
Absolutely.
VAs.
So the website, the easiest way to reference a website is actually just Google VA approved condos. If you do that, you're going to pull up your VA website. There's going to be a search bar, and you can actually search by condo name, by condo address, by your location, state, and the city where the condo is located. Now, a fun fact about the condos in South Florida, there's about 300 more condos approved in each county, more than FHA and conventional combined.
Oh my
I know
gosh.
that.
Yeah. I mean, the percentage
That's
is like something like
crazy.
100 and some odd percent more than than FHA and conventional combined.
So can a VA buyer buy a condo?
Absolutely.
But I didn't even get into the best part. The best part of it is, once a condo is approved through the VA channel, it's essentially approved for life. Meaning that, there's condos that are approved there from the 80s, from the 70s. They get approved, they're basically approved for life. It takes a pretty substantial event for a condo to come off of that list.
Wow.
And there's only one document that
Wow.
we need on the lending side to actually work that condo.
Wow.
So it's phenomenal. So can you get a condo approved with VA, and can you do a VA loan with a condo? Absolutely.
And realtors, stop wasting your time and your client's time. You can print this resource out, have it on the go, and you'll pinpoint all the right properties for your veteran.
There was so much information in this course, so many links, so many websites that you can refer back to learn everything you need to know about VA loans. There's also a hotline, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the VA Regional Loan Center. Every single coast has a loan center. So there's one on the East Coast. We have a dedicated one out in St. Petersburg, I believe it is.
Yeah, cool.
That's not correct.
It is
St. Petersburg. Okay, cool.
We learned that.
I know a lot of guys over there, and the really cool thing is that when you call them, you actually get a person.
Yeah.
A person picks up, and it's a person from here who's local to your area, knows the area, and they'll actually help you not only with questions that you have on the VA front, because veterans can call this hotline, but the realtors can call this hotline as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lenders can call this hotline, and I wish I said that I was a guru, but I'm not. I don't know everything, and when I don't know everything, or there's a question I don't have, or an answer I don't have, they're the people I go to.
If you want this information or the number to the hotline, let us know, or take the course yourself so you can learn this information as well.
Find the number below.
I was thinking of doing that too. Like, you'll find it right here. Right here. So guys, the reason why the MRP designation is important is because we have a lot of veterans who are transient, coming from different states. They get different PCS orders, and when they need somebody who understands those needs, not just for themselves, but for their family members too, because this is a really intense time for their family. They have to uproot, they have to move, they have to plant themselves into a completely new place, get new friends, and that is where this designation can help you understand their needs, understand what they need most, and understand their family's needs as well. I'm a huge advocate of the MRP designation, so I feel like you guys should definitely take this course, and it's going to provide a ton of value for you guys.
And Bethany?
It definitely provided a ton of value for us, and now we are designated, right?
And Bethany, here's to getting MRP designated.
That's right.
Yes.
In closing, I really want to thank you both for being assertive, taking the MRP designation,
Absolutely.
being, taking that initiative to really help our veterans, because our veterans, unfortunately, are underserved, and I really want to commend you guys for that. So thank you for that.
Oh, thanks. Well, we want to thank the instructor, Grant Simon, for educating us and giving us a great course.
And thank you to the families we've worked with and to the families that we'll be working with soon.
Yes. Thank you.